this week is going to be a little shorter, and it's going to get a little weird moving forward because there were some games that were rescheduled due to positive COVID tests in the league. So there was a bunch of games that got pushed. Some are being played today, which is Monday. I'm recording this Monday morning. It's about 6 a.m. right now, so obviously those games haven't happened yet. And then some got pushed to Tuesday. I'm not sure if there's any later than that. So next week's video is going to have a ton of extra games. The two that were played this Monday, the two that are played tomorrow on Tuesday, and then obviously all of the games for next week as well. So it's going to get a little funky, but just bear with me. And just once again, based on some of the recent comments I've gotten on the videos, I just need to reiterate that all of these predictions I made during the preseason. So I have not been doing week-by-week predictions like other channels do, and obviously that's been a mistake, and next season I will be doing week-by-week predictions because this was an oversight on my part, but this was never meant to turn into this like weekly series that it has become, so I hadn't really prepared for this when I made that first review video. And with that, let's get into the games. We have an NFC West matchup for last week's Monday game between the Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals, fighting, holding on to their top spot in the NFC West. And I did predict the Rams to win this game, and they came through and they did win. They knocked off the Arizona Cardinals, so the final score of 30-23. Matthew Stafford, 287 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and Kyler Murray had sort of a rough game, 383 yards, so that's pretty good. Almost 100 yards more than Stafford, but Kyler Murray had 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. However, I need to point out James Conner for the Cardinals. He only had 31 yards off of 13 carries. However, he did get 2 rushing touchdowns, and those rushing touchdowns is what kept Arizona in this game. It's just, nobody else on the offense could contribute the way he was doing it as well. You have to think that maybe if Kyler Murray does not get those 2 interceptions, perhaps the Cardinals could have turned this into a win, because they did only lose by 7. So just if one of those, interceptions turns into a TD, then you're looking at maybe an overtime game or something like that. But that was not in the cards, and like I said, the Rams end up getting the victory here. The Rams their game was rescheduled to today, Monday, so I'm not going to read the Cardinals standing because that's going to spoil the game later in this video. But the Rams, they are now 9-4-0, and they are second in the NFC West. Moving on, we have the Chiefs versus the Chargers. I predicted the Chiefs winning here. My heart, my desirability would have laid with the Chargers winning this one. They are first in the AFC West, like I said, and the Chargers are 8-6-0. They are second in the AFC West. Patrick Mahomes, a staggering, blistering 410 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Justin Herbert, he has 236 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. However, Justin Herbert also had 1 rushing touchdown. Just like a 1-yard QB sneak, but still, he did get the rushing touchdown. And yeah, with this game, the battle for the AFC West is pretty much done and dusted, in my opinion. It would take, I don't even think mathematically it's possible for the Chiefs to lose that one spot, because there's only 2 weeks left, right? 17 weeks now, so I do not think it's possible for them to lose that first seat in the AFC West. We go to OT. The game tied at 28, and a passing touchdown reception by Travis Kelce finishes the game after his 7-yard reception originally sent the game to OT. So Kansas City turns around a losing game at the 0 hour, turns it into a W, and wins the division. This was a weird game. This was a very weird game. The New England Patriots versus the Indianapolis Colts. I predicted a New England victory here, but it was the Colts. And like I said, just a really strange game. The Patriots got shut out for the first 3 quarters of this game, and I think that's the first time that it had happened all year for the Patriots this year. They did not score any points until the 4th quarter. Now, they did put up 17 points in that 4th quarter, so it was pretty good, but it was 17-20 going into the end of the 4th, but then Jonathan Taylor for the Colts continues his fantastic season and gets a massive 67-yard rushing touchdown to kind of just put the game away. Also, this game had a very rare play, one that you don't see a lot, and that was a blocked punt touchdown return. So the Patriots in the first quarter were, punting the ball, and Justin Bailey, I think it's Justin Bailey. It's Jay Bailey, but I'm pretty sure it's Justin Bailey. He kicks the ball, and then Indianapolis returns it, or they block it. They jump up, they block the kick, snatch it up, and run it in for the blocked punt return touchdown, which is a rare play, but definitely an exciting one. Final score 17-27 in favor of the Colts. Carson Wentz not asked to do too much here. Only passes the ball 12 times for a total of 57 yards on 5 completions. He gets 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Mac Jones, quite a bit more yardage, 299 yards. And he gets 2 touchdowns, but he also gets 2 interceptions. And I think this is the first time Mac Jones has been picked off twice in one game. I think like a second seed in the AFC South, the second seed. And yeah, Jonathan Taylor, absolute monster year from him. Also, this game had this weird moment. Carson Wentz really got into it with one of the opposing players. I forget exactly the context. I think Carson Wentz was kind of putting out there that the guy went for his, the area that you do not want some, professional athlete wearing cleats to go towards. I'm trying to see if I can find the highlight really quick because it was yesterday that I saw it, so I want to find the exact situation that happened. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it here. Okay, I can't find it, but there was somebody did something, and Carson Wentz felt like they were going. I believe the words that he used was targeting his ability to reproduce. So Wentz got pretty upset and got into a scuffle with somebody. Kind of an interesting moment, but anyways, I digress. Moving on, we had the New York Jets versus the Miami Dolphins. I predicted a Miami victory here, and Miami did get the victory. And Miami has been on a little bit of a roll lately. I'm pretty sure they're on a win streak right now. Let's see. Let's see, they just beat the Jets. The week before that, they beat the Giants. They beat the Panthers the week before that. Beat the Dolphins again the week before, or they beat the Jets again the week before that. The Ravens before that, and the Texans before that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Dolphins are on a 6-game win streak. After this victory over the New York Jets, final score 31-24, if I did not say that already. Tua Tagovailoa, 196 yards, 2 touchdowns, unfortunately. Also coming with 2 interceptions. Zach Wilson, 170 yards, 0 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, but he did get a rushing touchdown. He got a QB sneak rushing touchdown in the second quarter. Also, it has to be said that in the fourth quarter is when Tua got both of his passing touchdowns. But in the middle between those 2 passing touchdowns, there was a pick 6 against him. So, unfortunate there that he got one of those 2 interceptions into a pick 6. But no harm, no foul. His team still comes away with the victory. And Duke Johnson I just have to point this out. I don't usually point out rushing, but Duke Johnson for the Dolphins, 107 yards in this game. And he did get 2 touchdowns, actually. 1 in the second, 1 in the third. So, good game from Duke Johnson. And we move to the Houston Texans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who just fired Urban Meyer as their head coach. Trevor Lawrence has one passing touchdown in his last 7 games. And I feel like even with a bad supporting cast around him, if you are the level of generational talent that Trevor Lawrence was hyped up to be, with his arm strength, his accuracy, and all that stuff that people talked about, you should have more than one passing touchdown in 7 games. Like, you just should. I don't care how bad the Jaguars are. They're not that bad. Like, that's too bad. Final score in this game is 30-16. This is an AFC South bout, and the Houston Texans have probably locked up that 3rd seed. The Houston Texans are 3-11-0. The Jaguars are 2-12-0. The Texans are 3rd in the AFC South. The Jaguars are 4th in the AFC South. Davis Mills, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Trevor Lawrence, 210 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, you have Davis Mills. Who, even like hardcore football fans, a lot of them probably had not really heard about Davis Mills before this season. He's putting up more touchdowns than Trevor Lawrence. Davis Mills, with this absolutely terrible Houston Texans team, has more touchdowns in this one game than Trevor Lawrence has in his last 7 games. That's just absurd. That's unacceptable. But this game did, in the first quarter, have a kickoff return touchdown, 98-yard touchdown. So you love to see that. Anytime that there's a kick return touchdown, I've talked about this before. That's a highlight I watch every time. James Robinson for the Jags, 75 yards on 18 carries and a touchdown. So he pretty much is their offense right now. Him and the field goal kicker are the offense. And yeah, I mean, the Jags are done. Like, there's no point. I'm not watching any more Jaguars games this year. I did not watch this game. I did not watch the highlights for this game. I can't care. Hopefully next season, Trevor Lawrence looks like what he's supposed to look like. Hopefully they get some wins next season, but I don't know. We'll see. At this point, I'm not really holding my breath. This was an interesting game. We have the Tennessee Titans versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, the Tennessee Titans are, without their best weapon. But the Pittsburgh Steelers have not been that good this season. Ben Roethlisberger has definitely declined was trailing 10-13, but boom, 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 3 field goals. They end up winning 19-13 after shutting out the Titans in the second half of the game. The Titans fall to 9-5-0, but they remain the first seed in the AFC South. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-6-1. They are fourth in the AFC North. Ryan Tannehill, 153 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Ben Roethlisberger, 148 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And not only did Ryan Tannehill and Ben Roethlisberger both have more rushing touchdowns than passing touchdowns, they each had more rushing touchdowns than the leading rusher on their team. Neither running back got a touchdown for this team, and neither quarterback got a passing touchdown in this game. So, very strange game. Very strange game. But Pittsburgh guts out the win. We have this game here. The Cincinnati Bengals versus the Denver Broncos. I predicted a Denver win. Cincinnati gets the W. There was a really, really scary moment in this game. Teddy Bridgewater, he just kind of landed wrong, landed weird after a tackle, and he was down on the field for quite some time. I believe he was carted off. I don't 100% recall, but I do believe he was carted off. But today they released that he has been, yesterday they put a thing saying like, oh, he's moving his extremities and stuff like that. So that was a little bit concerning that that's like the level of reporting we're getting to, like, oh, it's good he's moving his extremities. But then today they said that he's been released from the hospital and he's entered into the concussion protocol. But you have to worry because this is Teddy Bridgewater's second concussion just this season. He had another one against the Ravens earlier this year. 2 concussions in 1 season, that's definitely not good. And you figure that it's probably going to be Drew Lock in a QB for the rest of the year. I don't think you can really ethically risk Teddy Bridgewater's long-term health like that, especially the Broncos aren't really having a winning season, so I think he's pretty much done for the year, and he might be done for his career. You know, he was already kind of a fringe guy, and 2 concussions in 1 year. I think he had a pretty bad knee injury a couple years back, plus he's had other concussions in the past. It might just be time to shut him down, you know. Final score 15-10 in favor of the Bengals. The Bengals advance to 8-6-0, and they take the first spot in the AFC North. The Broncos are back down to 500. They are 7-7-0. They are third in the AFC West. Joe Burrow in this game, 157 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. And after this game, and then some poor performances from other quarterbacks around the league this season, or this week, Joe Burrow is now the highest rated quarterback according to Pro Football Focus for this season. So that's pretty cool for Joe Burrow. He has definitely had a good year and definitely, I think, outperformed some of his expectations. Especially going his career. Wishing for a speedy recovery from him, but he's probably done. Realistically, he's probably done. We come in now, the Carolina Panthers versus the Buffalo Bills. I predicted Carolina, even in the preseason. That was probably a bad pick. Actually, I think the reason I said that was because I assumed that at this point in the season, Buffalo would have the first seed basically completely locked up. I think I predicted they'd only have 1 or 2 losses at this point in the year. So I figured that Buffalo at this point would just be kind of shutting everybody down until the playoffs. But now they're actually in a fight for the 1 seed, so they can't be doing that. Buffalo does get the victory in this game against the Panthers. Final score 31-14. Neither team gets on the board in the first. Neither team gets on the board in the first, but second quarter full of action. You get a Cam Newton rushing touchdown, vintage, and you get 17 points on the board for Buffalo. Carolina is shut out in the third. Buffalo puts another DD on them. And then it's 7-6 in the fourth. And that's how you get to your final score, 31-14, as I said. Cam Newton, 156 yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception, plus the rushing touchdown from the second quarter. Josh Allen, 210 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception for Josh Allen. And the Buffalo Bills are back in the hunt for the 1 seed with the Patriots losing. So every game matters here on out. Let's see the Bills' schedule going forward. So the Bills play. They play where's their schedule? Okay, here it is. They play New England the day after Christmas on the 26th. So that game is going to be huge. That game could possibly determine who ends up as the first seed. Not even possibly. That game most likely will determine who ends up as the first seed. Because then Buffalo goes against the Atlanta Falcons on January 2nd and the New York Giants on the January 9th to close the season. And you have to figure those are probably both W's. And let's look at New England's schedule. New England, obviously they play the Bills on the 26th. And then on the 2nd they play Jacksonville. That should be a W. On the 9th they play Miami at Miami. And I think that game's a 50-50 because New England has historically struggled against the Dolphins, strangely enough, even when Brady was there. The Dolphins were kind of always a trap game for them. It's the last game of the season. The Dolphins have been hot lately. They're on that winning streak. So I think that game could go either way, but definitely going to be an interesting end of the season in the AFC East, determining who gets that top spot. Personally, I'm pulling for Buffalo. Just, that's my rooting interest. I don't really care either way. I'm not really a fan of either team. And I do think it'd be kind of funny if Mac Jones wins the 1 seed with the Patriots. Like, that would be so funny. Just for the memes. But my rooting interest is hopefully the Bills can get that 1 seed. Alright, we have the Green Bay Packers versus the Baltimore Ravens. This was a brutal, grueling game. A game decided by 1 point. But mercifully for my scorecard, Green Bay does get the victory. Final score insane performance from him. And at the end of the game, he really was trying to drag his team, kicking and screaming, back into this thing. But unfortunately, the 2-point conversion on that second rushing touchdown by Huntley does not go. Instead of winning by 1, the Ravens lose by 1. Heartbreaking stuff. Huntley did all that he could to get his team back into this, and you have to commend that effort. And he's really, like, for coming off the bench. And he puts up this kind of performance against Green Bay, of all teams, who are a top-tier team in the NFL this season. Baltimore has to be really happy with his performance, and especially he has to be ecstatic with his performance, and he's probably going to be looking to perhaps sign a starting deal somewhere else next season. We'll see. I might be kind of jumping the gun a bit there, but who knows? Maybe somebody will give him a starting gig. Maybe Jacksonville. Dallas versus the Giants. How about them Cowboys? How about them Cowboys? They get the W 21-6 over their hated rivals in the New York Giants, and their records are now an inverse of each other. I forgot to read out the standings for the last game. My apologies. I keep messing that up. That last game was the Green Bay game. Yeah, the Green Bay game. Where is that? The Green Bay Packers are now 11-3-0. They are first in the NFC North. The Baltimore Ravens are 8-6-0. They are second in the AFC North. My apologies. Also, I forgot to point this out at the beginning of the video, but I just pulled up OBS to check my time and notice it. Please ignore my laundry chair. I have been too lazy to put away my laundry this morning. I pulled it all out of the dryer when I woke up, and I was like, I do not want to start my day by putting away laundry, but I do have to record this video. So it is sitting in the laundry chair, but that is clean laundry. That's clean laundry. And don't act like you don't have a laundry chair. I know you have a laundry chair. Back to the game. 21-6 in favor of the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. And Jake Fromm getting the start to the New York Giants, who announced today that they are shutting down Daniel Jones for the remainder of the season. And the funny thing is that a few days ago, or like maybe a week or two ago actually, on the NFL subreddit, some dude said that he was a carpenter and he was doing some carpentry work at the owner of the New York Giants house, and he heard him talking about how Daniel Jones was going to be shut down, but they just couldn't say anything about it yet, and nobody believed him, and lo and behold, he has been shut down for this season. I thought that's pretty funny. That dude ended up being right. But anyway, Jake Fromm, 82 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, there isn't really much to talk about in this game. It was pretty much just Dallas just dominating a team that's weaker in every regard. The only 2 points on the board for New York is a field goal in the first and a field goal in the third, but Elliott got one on him, Prescott got one on him, so I mean, what do you want me to say? At this point, what do you want me to say? The Giants are absolutely terrible. The Dallas Cowboys, they are 10-4-0. They are first in the NFC East. And the New York Giants are 4-10-0. So the inverse of Dallas's record. They are 4th in the NFC East. has it in him. Because he was getting kind of concerning there for a little bit, I'm not going to lie, but 2 wins now for the Detroit Lions. They're still 4th in the NFC North, so they still have pretty good draft position, but getting these wins, especially getting these wins with a head coach that the team loves and respects, this is good for building culture, and as they continue to build the team through the draft, hopefully Goff sticks around, hopefully does not decline, and they can build something, because it would be good to see the Detroit Lions be good again. Final score 30-12. I don't remember if I said that or not. Kyler Murray, 257 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Just a solid game overall for the Detroit Lions, and they shut the Cardinals out in the first half, 17-0 going into halftime. Then through the second half, the Cardinals put up 12 points, but the Detroit Lions put up 13. So even through the second half, they kept pace with the Cardinals and outpaced them by 1. So the Detroit Lions did exactly what they needed to do to get the win this game, and I'm happy, even though it's an L on my scorecard and I'm taking a huge hit to my accuracy this week. I'm happy for the Lions. The Falcons versus the Niners. I predicted a Falcons victory here, but San Francisco does get the win. I'm going to adjust the size of this column just a little bit here. Messed me up there. Now I'm going to adjust the size of my webcam again. This whole thing is a disaster. There we go. San Francisco gets the win. I kind of expected San Francisco to be in a better spot than they were right now, so I think my thinking was similar to with the Bills. I figured that a lot of San Francisco's players would be shut down right now. Obviously, that's not the case. Final score 31-13. Matt Ryan, 236 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. Jimmy Garoppolo, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. So nearly identical stat lines for Matt Ryan and Jimmy Garoppolo. Only a difference of 1 yard between them. But obviously the rushing touchdowns for the Niners make up the difference here. They had 3 rushing touchdowns compared to 0 for the Atlanta Falcons, so those make up all the difference, obviously. Deebo Samuel had kind of a not really a quiet game. He had 60 yards on 4 receptions, but he did not have any touchdowns this game, which I guess constitutes a quiet game for Deebo Samuel these days. The Falcons are 6-8-0. They are 3rd in the NFC South, and the Niners are 8-6-0. They're 3rd in the NFC West. And now we move on to the game that had some drama alert. Saints versus the Buccaneers. This game had a lot of drama. Tom Mahomes is now third place. Mahomes is third place. Brady drops down to second, and Rodgers jumps up to first. So, if all things, everything considered, even if Tampa keeps winning, even if Green Bay keeps winning and Tampa keeps winning, Rodgers should win that MVP award. Just based on, that. Brady still definitely could win it, but you never know. You never know. The Saints are now 7-7-0. They are second in the NFC South. The Buccaneers are 10-4-0. They remain first place in the NFC South. Also, going back to that Detroit-Arizona win, that was the first time in NFL history. So, more than 100 years of NFL football, it is the first time in history that a team with one win beat a team that had more than 10 wins. First time ever. Ever. Also, back to this Tampa Bay game, back to the task at hand. Tom Brady is now 0-4 against the New Orleans Saints in the regular season since moving to Tampa Bay. So it seems that they have his number a little bit, although he has still beat them in the playoffs. So, but getting to the drama around this game, Tom Brady went to the sideline and he had some choice words for one of the New Orleans Saints players. I forget the exact words he said, but he definitely went to the sideline and he swore. Oh, he said, "Go fuck yourself." He went to the sideline and yelled, "Go fuck yourself," to the New Orleans Saints players. And he did not get a taunting fine for that. And there's a lot of people who are really up in arms. There's been a ton of discussion. It's been all over, like, the sports talk shows, like First Take and stuff like that. Basically, like, people are very, very outraged that Tom Brady did not get a taunting fine for that play. And I can definitely see where they're coming from. It definitely seemed like textbook what should be a taunting fine. So, definitely a bit of a double standard there from the NFL. Also, Tom Brady broke Microsoft Surface tablet. That's never good. Also, Chris Godwin tore his ACL, and that's not good, especially because he was on the franchise tag. So, Chris Godwin has just lost out on tens and tens, if not potentially over $100 million. And if you were ever wondering, if you were ever upset about why NFL players hold out and refuse to play, and especially on the franchise tag, it is for precisely this reason. One injury, and Chris Godwin has lost out on potentially 70 to 80 million dollars. 70 to 80 million dollars. And that's insane. And you know what? I get it. If I was an NFL player, I would definitely not play unless I was locked up on a big contract, especially if I was producing like Chris Godwin. But anyways, that wraps up. That wraps up week 15. Is it really week 15? Because we have 4 games not on the board because they all got postponed. So you'll see those next week. I do not think that the NFL is going to add a week 18, but we'll see. There might be an 18th week. They've changed some of their testing procedures around the league, so we'll see how that goes moving forward. But a little bit touch and go right now in the NFL. Absolute bloodbath for me on the scoreboard today, though. I got 5 out of 13 correct this week. 5 out of 13 season. And like I said, doing this all based off of preseason performance and nothing else, not doing weekly predictions, not being able to react to hot streaks, cold streaks, injuries. I think I'm doing alright. Anyways, that is that. I thought this video would end up being shorter, but this is still going to come out to just around an hour long, so I'm nothing if not consistent. These NFL weekly reviews are always about an hour long. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this every single day of the week. Also, leave any comments you have below about this week.